Look, let me see if this sounds familiar. You make decent money, not rich, not struggling. On paper, you're doing everything right. You've got a job that pays okay. You have a car payment that feels manageable. You rent or own a place that's fine. You go on vacation sometimes, but not without stress. And every month you think, why does it feel like I should be way further ahead than this? Because here's the thing. You're not broke, but you're also not free. And somehow, despite earning more than most people in the world, you still feel one unexpected expense away from panic. If that made you feel slightly uncomfortable, like, that's literally me, then yeah, we need to talk. Because today we're breaking down the hidden cost of being middle class in America, and it's way more expensive than most people realize. My name is John, and I spend way too much time thinking about money and financial independence. If you're someone who earns a decent income, but still feels financially stuck, anxious about money, or confused about why it never seems to be enough, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. And I'll be honest with you up front, this video might make you a little uncomfortable, not because you're doing something wrong, but because the middle class in America has been sold a financial story that quietly drains their money, time, and peace of mind. The big lie about the middle class. Here's what most people don't realize. The middle class isn't a destination. It's a treadmill. You're expected to earn more, spend more, upgrade more, just to stay in the exact same place. And the scariest part? Most people don't even notice it happening. Let's define what middle class actually means for a second. Depending on the source, middle class household income in the U.S. sits roughly between $50,000 and $150,000 per year. That's a huge range. But regardless of where you fall in it, the lifestyle expectations are surprisingly similar. And those expectations come with costs. Costs that don't show up in your bank app until it's too late. Cost number one, lifestyle inflation that feels normal. Look, when your income goes up, your life is supposed to get easier. That's the deal, right? Except for the middle class, it rarely does. Here's why. Let's say you make $75,000 a year. After federal taxes, state taxes, payroll taxes, health insurance, you might actually take home $4,300 to $4,600 a month. Now watch how fast that disappears. Rent or mortgage, $1,600. Car payment, $450. Insurance, $200. Utilities, $250. Groceries, $600. Phone plus internet plus subscriptions, $300. Gas plus transportation, $250. We're already around $3,650, and we haven't touched student loans, retirement savings, medical bills, kids, travel, emergencies, or fun. This is where people say, well, yeah, but that's just normal. Exactly, that's the problem. The middle class absorbs lifestyle inflation so smoothly that it never feels irresponsible. Bigger apartment, safer neighborhood, reliable car, better groceries. Nothing reckless, nothing flashy, and yet no breathing room. The psychology behind this. This is where it gets really interesting. Humans don't measure wealth in numbers. We measure it relative to people around us. If everyone you know has a newer car, a nicer kitchen, a yearly vacation, then not having those things feels like failure, even if you're objectively doing fine. Psychologists call this social comparison bias, and advertisers absolutely love it because they don't sell luxury to the poor. They sell normal to the middle class. Cost number two, the debt that comes with stability. Now you might be thinking, John, debt isn't the problem, it's manageable. The interest rate is low. Okay, let's talk about that. The average American household carries roughly $21,000 in auto loans, $30,000 to $40,000 in student loans, $6,000 to $8,000 in credit card debt. That's not reckless spending. That's structural debt. Debt you were told you needed to. Get educated, get to work, live a respectable life. And here's the hidden cost. Debt doesn't just take money, it takes optionality. You can't easily quit a bad job, take a risk, start a business, Move somewhere cheaper because the payments don't care how you feel. They show up every month regardless. A simple math example. Let's say you have a $450 car payment, $350 in student loans. That's $800 per month. Invested at a modest 7% annual return, $800 per month over 30 years becomes over $900,000. That's the opportunity cost, not interest, not fees, lost future freedom. And nobody explains it this way when you sign the paperwork. Cost number 3, housing, the biggest silent drain. Housing is where the middle class gets squeezed the hardest because you're told, buy as much house as you can afford, which is insane advice. If you earn $90,000 and buy a $450,000 house, you're not building wealth. You're building property taxes, maintenance costs, HOA fees, insurance increases. According to multiple housing studies, the true cost of home ownership is often 1.5 to 2 times the mortgage payment over time. Roof, HVAC, plumbing, appliances. None of these are optional, and none of them care if you're middle class. Cost number 4, taxes that hit the middle. The hardest, here's another uncomfortable truth. The middle class pays a higher effective tax rate than both the poor and the wealthy. Lower earners get credits and subsidies. The wealthy get assets and tax strategies. The middle class gets payroll taxes, limited deductions, phase-outs on benefits. You earn too much for help, but not enough for loopholes. So every raise feels smaller than expected. And that's not an accident. Cost number 5, the stress you don't see on paper. This one doesn't show up in spreadsheets, but it matters more than all the others. Middle-class stress is unique because it's invisible. You're not allowed to complain and because other people have it worse. So you internalize it. You worry about layoffs, medical bills, kids' futures, retirement. According to surveys, nearly 60% of Americans earning over $75,000 still report living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're irresponsible, but because the margin for error is razor thin. Here's what most people don't realize. Being middle class isn't expensive because of one big mistake. It's expensive because of 1,000 reasonable decisions that all point in the same direction. Comfort now, flexibility later, and over time, later never comes. How to escape the middle class trap, practical steps. All right, enough doom. Let's talk solutions. Step 1, define enough explicitly. If you don't define enough, society will do it for you. Write down the lifestyle you actually want, the expenses that truly matter, what you don't care about. This alone can save you thousands per year. Step 2, cap your fixed costs. Your fixed costs determine your freedom. Housing, transportation, debt. If you cap these early, raises actually change your life instead of disappearing. Step 3, buy back optionality. Paying down high-stress debt isn't just financial, it's psychological. Every payment you eliminate lowers anxiety, increases choices, buys future flexibility. That's real wealth. Step 4, invest before you feel ready. Middle-class wealth isn't built with timing, it's built with consistency. Even $300 to $500 per month invested early changes your entire trajectory. A quick story, I once talked to someone earning 6 figures who felt more stressed than they did at $45,000. Same anxiety, bigger numbers, because the lifestyle grew faster than the freedom. That's the trap. Final thought. Look, being middle class in America isn't a failure, but staying on autopilot is expensive. The hidden cost isn't money alone. It's time, peace, options, and the moment you start questioning the default path, you start winning. If this video made you think differently about your money, hit the like button. It genuinely helps the channel. Subscribe if you want honest conversations about money, wealth, and financial independence without the fake guru nonsense. And comment below, what part of the middle-class lifestyle feels the most expensive to you right now? I read those. I'll see you in the next one.